Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to DONZO's. So let's talk about snare drums. I'm going to do a little educational video tonight on snare drums. I have three different snare drums here in front of me. And this here is the Fibes 1970s. This is fiberglass, which is a chrome wrap over top of fiberglass. This is a 10 lug snare drum. This one here is a 6.5 402 Symphonic by Ludwig, 1970s, blue and olive badge. This is what John Bottom used. This is the exact same snare drum that he used. Same snare drum that Buddy Rich used. This is the chrome over fiberglass Fives. This is a 5.5. It might vary on it. Some of them are a little different. They didn't make them consistent on cutting because it's fiberglass, like I said. And this here is a Slingerland. This is a 1950s Slingerland. This is a one-ply snare shell. Very interesting. The one-plies are very snappy, very jazzy. I like them a lot. This particular snare drum here, Slingerland, this came with 19 chrome over brass hoops. I have a chrome over brass on the bottom hoop. And this is a Buddy Rich stick chopper Slingerland style hoop. That it's a steel hoop actually. I put it on there just to try it. I normally use the chrome over brass hoops. And the Ludwig snare drum is usually equipped with regular stainless steel hoops. This is a 10 lug snare drum. I actually put chrome over brass hoops on this particular snare drum. I kind of like the chrome over brass hoops a little better than stainless steel. I think they're more musical. They have a little bit more voice, a little brighter. I think they're more musical, and you know, in all aspects of music, I personally like them better than the stainless steel hoops. But this drum did come with stainless steel hoops. So this drum is just a regular stainless steel hoops, but like I said again, this is a fiberglass. So this particular drum here, in case of you viewers have never seen one, this is a fiberglass, which is black inside. It's fiberglass, and it's chrome over top of the fiberglass. There's the 5 badge. And then what's really interesting about this drum, I like a lot about it, is it has like a bicycle handle, like a throw off, which is very cool. It's a very nice drum. On my Slingerland Buddy Rich, this white marine pearl drum set, I use this particular snare drum, and it's got a unique sound. I really like this drum a lot. Hands down, this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest snare drums ever made. And so does Steve Maxwell from Maxwell Drums. He likes this particular snare drum a lot too, and I'm really thrilled to show this with everyone out there. And we're going to get a little sound file as well. We're going to let you hear all three of these snare drums. And now, I don't try to tune these drums per se the same tension or the same tune. I don't believe in any drum will ever be really the exact same tuning. They all have their own characteristics. I personally think that don't ever try to tune a drum, you know, out its boundaries. Every drum has a sweet spot, in my opinion. And some people have different ways of tuning their drums. Some people like the bottom heads a little tighter. Some people like them a little looser. I personally like my bottom heads a little looser for resonance, and the tops for tones I like a little tighter. So just to let you know that how I tune drums, when you listen to my videos and you listen to my snare sounds, and I like them a little tighter on the top, like I said again, and a little looser on the bottom for the resonance, because it lets the drum breathe and has a little bit more resonance, I think, personally. And it projects out. You know, Steve Maxwell says a lot of times, you know, it's better to let the drum project out. And I don't use mics a lot of times. I just record with my phone. So in a lot of these videos, you know, I have to use a tuning method that projects the sound out, so my phone condenser mic can capture, you know, the best, the quality that it can. And when you got it really tight, a lot of times it doesn't project. So that's another little educational piece. I think that over the 40 years of playing drums, that I find different methods of tuning, and what works best for me is looser on the bottom, tighter on the top. For all you people out there that like your drums tuned tighter on their bottom, that's your preference. Sensitivity wise, sometimes yeah, it can be a little better. But enough talking. Let's hear these drums in their own characteristics. I'm going to take off each one of these throw-offs first to let you hear the tone of each drum, and it's tuned a little differently. There's the fiberglass. Here's the metal, which is a galvanized alloy, which John Bottom used. And this is a one-ply wood shell Slingerland, 1950s. They all three have their own different characteristics, and they all three sound different. Let's throw the throw-offs and the snares now, and you get an idea of what these drums sound like with a snare. Okay, this is an 8 lug, this is a 10 lug, this is a 10 lug. This is the Slingerland, and this is a stick chopper hoop, which is a neat sound. That's more like a Buddy Rich. And then this is the John Bottom snare drum, which chrome or brass hoops. 5 snare drum that Buddy Rich used, which is fiberglass, chrome over the fiberglass, 10 lug. All three of these snare drums sound great. They all sound really good. They're all sensitive. They're in, intonation. They sound pretty good. They all sound great. They all have great tonation. And I just want to do a couple different snare drum videos, and I will be doing some more. This is part 1, and I will be doing 3 snare drums at a time. That's all I have is 3 snare drum stands. So really, this space is actually really good. 3 different snare drums at a time. So give me your opinion. Which one you think is better? Which one you like. The sound, I like all 3 of these drums. They're all 3 great. I wouldn't per se say that one's better than the other, in my opinion. I think it's all about, a choice. When I do my bottom videos with the John Bottom kit, I'm using the John Bottom snare drum, It's a nice snare drum. It's one of the most recorded snare drums in history. Everyone knows that if you're a really big buff on the Ludwig Symphonic 402s. It's one of the greatest snare drums ever made. The 400 is a 5.5, which is a great snare drum too. And I also have a chrome over brass Symphonic, which is a really nice drum. But like I said, we're going to do part 1, 2, maybe I might do maybe part 4. It'll be 3 different snare drums each time. And I think my next video I'm going to do a Dave Weckl, which is a Yamaha snare drum, 8 lug, has a dual throw off in the bottom. And John J. Robinson Yamaha snare drum, which is a nice 10 lug white marine pearl. And you'll see in my next videos I'll have some different snare drums to choose from each time, and it'll be 3. So I hope everyone likes, this little snare drum demonstration. I think this might help some people as far as tuning. Experiment with your tuning, whether you like it high on top or a little looser. It's all a matter of playing with your drums and tuning them and finding the sweet spot for you. And I usually try to test with usually like the outer, which is a buzz on the outer. If it's sensitive on this outer head, then usually you got a nice enough tension on the drum for it to sing and allow it to be sensitive. All the way from the edge. All the way from the edge to the center of that drum. If it sings, then that's a nice tension. I prefer it that way anyway. But if you like the videos, leave comments, please leave thumbs up. Appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next video for the other 3 snare drums.